This is Chris Hansen.
Chad doing Rip City Radio here.
It's your favorite basketball player, Tyler Hansbrough.
This is Jamie Hudson.
This is TJ Houshmandzadeh.
And I'm going to let y'all know something.
Duke sucks and Duke will always suck.
You're listening to
It Just Makes Sense.
It Just Makes Sense.
Listen, this podcast is not about being right. It's about being entertaining and sometimes right.
That pass to Kincaid, that is a play you make in the postseason. You have to make that play because sometimes it's that one play that gets you to the next game.
What's the pee in the pool situation?
Dude,
Don't pee in the pool.
because I will swallow that water.
Especially if he knows they're pissing.
Trust me, there's nobody that loves peeing in the pool more than this
I
guy.
know. I'm
fucking
surprised
love
to
peeing
hear
in the
your
pool.
stance.
You look like a prime brisket. Just USDA prime. We're back.
Clear eyes.
Full heart!
Can't lose.
Play like a champion! The
Code
sounds that
92.
you hear through your speakers are high definition and not through Microsoft Teams. Try your microphone, Braxton.
We're back.
No remote. We're back in office.
Back in office, bitch.
Yeah, I know. We got rid of all of our DEI initiatives and we're back in office, baby.
Fuck yeah.
And it's the current world we live in.
Fuck yeah.
What's DEI?
Fuck the free world. You don't know what DEI means? Me neither.
Well, we're not going that way. Welcome back, Braxton.
Thank you.
I don't know for how permanently, but tonight you're
I'm
here.
here.
And we've got actual, good audio tonight. So
Good.
I've received messages like, it sounds like you're talking to each other from a wind tunnel. Be like, well, that's
Yeah,
Microsoft Teams.
that's my
for you.
fault.
Yeah. So
That's my fault.
your fault for having a
The
baby.
remote worker. The remote worker.
Dude, we got to meet Squinton this past weekend.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
real.
Q boy.
Yeah. Brody wanted to pet him.
He did.
I think he, in fact, did
He
pet
did.
him.
And he
Yeah,
gave him a little kiss.
Aww.
Hmm.
You didn't like that because of the germs.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was fine.
Well,
You should have said, hey, Brody, don't fucking touch that kid.
yeah, that's a little bit consent matters. I think consent
No,
matters.
it was great. It was very sweet. Brody was sweet.
Brody's a sweet kid. So, welcome back, Braxton.
Thank you. It feels great to be back, even just for this 1 week. I know we're traveling next week, so I probably won't be back next week.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
And then we're coming back from traveling the week after that, so I probably won't be here then.
Okay,
We're
so
taking
now
2
it's
weeks off.
So it's
We're
huh?
not taking 2 weeks.
No, I'm just saying I won't be here for the next 2 weeks, but I'm here now.
Yeah, we'll have the crappy audio for a couple weeks following, but this week, great audio.
Get ready for that crappy audio.
Get ready.
folks.
We're back for that crappy audio. We'll have to figure out how the people who always do the remotes do good audio, but
Yeah,
we probably have to pay for it.
yeah. We don't have that kind
No
of cash.
budget for that. We gotta get someone to
We gotta
sponsor
figure it
us.
We
out.
already had to get rid of our interns.
Yeah,
did.
We gotta get that
All
beer
7
money
of 'em.
again, all of that. So, well, welcome
Thank
to
you.
It Just Makes Sense, and welcome Braxton.
Thank you.
Officially, we've talked about this in the past that we are a big man certified podcast.
Yeah.
I brought this from downstairs. Miguel shared this earlier. He said so. His fiance, soon to be wife, a couple of months away, is a graphic designer. And she, on her own accord, made these big man certified stickers.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, and we'll put it on the screen on the YouTubes. We'll full screen this. If that does not look like you, also then mixed together with the sexy
You
chick
meaning
on the
Braxton. You
Yeah.
meaning Braxton. It could also be me, but
Braxton,
it really
yeah.
looks like a silhouette of
Yeah.
Braxton.
Miguel wishes he could
It
look
is
like
a
that.
side angle of Braxton. I mean, it is uncanny with the hat and the beard,
Laying back on the
And the
beach.
flow.
Laying back on
Yeah.
the beach.
laying back, and
We're
then
gonna recreate that image in Mexico.
with the dainty legs, the hot legs that you see on the back of those little fenders or whatever of a truck. Oh my God! It's like it gives me. It feels. I don't know how to feel about it, but it makes me smile
Hard.
and hard.
Okay.
So. Check it out at official IGMS on our YouTube.
It is impressive, and we are America's #1 big man certified
That's true.
podcast, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Maybe
Yeah.
she'll make money off of that on Etsy. Maybe she starts selling that on Etsy.
She should like get it engraved into like a cutting board. You could sell thousands of those.
Do you think that we could get that trademarked?
Big man certified.
Yeah.
Only one way to find out.
We should look it up. Let me actually. Well, we'll do it after.
Yeah,
the podcast.
take your time doing that now.
Just pause.
Pause.
Hold on 1 sec.
Hold on. It's as if we could cut it out. But Big Man Certified Podcast, I'm so excited. We should just randomly stick these places then with a QR code and then send people
There should
to
definitely be a handful
podcast.
that are brought to Mexico to be slabbed around.
Yeah.
Put it all over the Airbnb and just leave it.
Maybe not. I think they could track that back to us.
I'll tell you what, the curves around your booty there, Braxton, are great. And then like these
My
like,
ass isn't that big. That's how you know it's not me.
No, but then if
You look like a prime brisket. Just USDA prime.
That's a compliment.
The level of your ankles being so skinny is also kind of sexy, and then the milkers that you have on you are incredible.
You know, my legs are getting skinnier, so I think the ankles match. I'd like to say that my tits are a little smaller, but
Who knows? I guess
Who
we'll have
knows?
to take the picture.
We'll see next
duplicate
week.
it,
yeah,
and
we'll find
see.
it. We'll find
I
out.
am so excited for your bachelor party.
We are officially.
Less than 10 days away.
We're officially in the window where you can look up with what the weather is going to be like on the extended
Yeah, by the time this
forecast.
episode comes out, we're a week away.
So, very excited.
Mexico. I think we made a good decision with Mexico over other spots.
I agree.
Because Vegas is kind of played out.
It is
New Orleans would have been
a lot,
A lot.
especially during the Super Bowl that's going on there.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good
Yeah, we didn't
point.
even think about that one. Holy shit.
We should have gone to Vegas for the
Holy
Super Bowl. Why
shit.
didn't we do that?
Yeah, because we would have wanted to do the fucking the cabanas and that big screen.
Yeah,
and
we
then found out that it was
Yeah.
20 grand to have all of us
we couldn't
there.
afford anything.
No,
Yeah,
We'd
good
have to-
thing we didn't go to Vegas or New Orleans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and New Orleans. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what you guys said. It just took me a
You-
tick
you-
longer
yeah,
to pick
you're
up what
catching
y'all
on.
were saying there. So
But no, I mean, obviously, this is a very selfish point of view, but this could not have come out a better time.
why is that, Braxton? So
I'll tell you what, because this is really one of my first ventures
yeah,
outside of the home. We saw you guys on Sunday, which was nice. That was the first time we got baby Q out of the house.
yeah. That was your first big event, our annual football party for the fantasy football,
which was
league.
great.
So,
How long did you guys stay there? Did you guys hang out for a while?
halftime of the next
We
game?
left at halftime.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we
cool,
ate
cool.
our
We got
Blizzards,
Blizzies.
yeah.
and then we left. Yeah, so.
But yeah, it was great to see everybody. But yeah, I'm so glad that I booked this trip and these flights months before the baby arrived, because not that I would have done this, but if for some reason I was waiting to book this trip until the kid was here, I would never
You
have
would
gone.
not, yeah.
Especially not for 6 days.
So yeah, the so at this party that we had, the Super Bowl or the fantasy football party
Yeah.
that we do, usually we like tell each other what we're going to bring, and this time around
potluck.
it was like, hey, we're just gonna all order stuff and bring it. It's just all of that. So both of you guys got Taco Bell.
Delicious.
Different assortments of Taco Bell, big party packs and everything like that. I was just in Virginia for about 3-4 days, and then I came back. I landed in Portland at like 10 p.m., showed up to Mitchell's house to then go over the food plan for the bachelor party. Show up there at 11. We leave at like, what, 1:30, something like that?
1:30.
I went and I got Taco Bell, yes. So
Like a trivia. So
Pointing at you.
yeah. So I mean, my innards have been not great for
Taco Bell.
for the last few days. I'm just kind of like, but then it's like you get the Crunchwrap Supremes, you get all these things you're not used
Which,
to getting.
you know what? I didn't want to bring this up, Pete.
Don't make me feel bad again for
But-
taking a whole Crunchwrap Supreme.
How many people were there?
How many
10?
did you get? 1?
10?
Did you J it and said, okay, everyone gets a
We got
sliver
10
of
people
a
there.
Crunchwrap Supreme?
There's 2 Crunchwrap Supremes.
No, there weren't just 2.
And Pete says, I'll take down a whole one.
But who eats a half of a crunch wrap, though?
Don't make me
Come
do
on,
that.
Miguel. You're supposed to help me.
Yeah, I know.
No. There was 4 Crunchwrap Supremes.
Okay.
There was a lot of, and I think there
How
was
many
like
did you
a
take
crunch wrap left. So if
Yeah,
anything,
there was.
He was just trying to make me feel bad.
Yeah,
You
Miguel,
didn't
you're
play into the pit.
Of all the people I know who like to make Peter feel
I know,
bad.
but I do it so often that if I could like take a break from it,
This is the one you're giving up?
it's nice.
Wow. Progress. Thank you.
Yeah, good for you.
Don't give me too
bitch.
much credit. It'll be
Yeah,
back.
New leaf. New leaf.
But if there's anybody that would fight that whole game, it's clearly this guy. First thing he does is text me, "What are you bringing?"
What are you bringing? Yeah.
I'm like, the whole point of this is a surprise. He goes, "What if we bring the same thing?" I'm like,
That's
that's
point.
the point. Like, if we end up bringing the same thing,
I guess I wasn't aware that it was a game.
We literally talked about this.
And for somebody that looks at TikTok 24 hours a day, this is like what's going viral.
Or it's like, oh, I brought the thing.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a group of people, and it's like, hey, $30 per person. That's the cap.
It's more like themed, though. Like, oh, I was in charge of the appetizers and I brought this. Or
No.
Well, usually because it's cheap, it ends up being fast food.
Yeah.
But it's never like the ones I've seen weren't like themed.
And we literally talked about this like 2 weeks ago on the
Forgot about it.
podcast.
I decided to forget about that.
And
so.
Miguel was like, "Oh yeah, look at this idea that I had," when I was the one who told him about it, which was a little rude, but we're not
Yeah.
going to bring that up.
I don't even remember that. I sort of
Miguel's
just
ideas are the greatest.
pulled it up from the reels.
But yeah, the only thing that I was confused on is I thought we were supposed to all order at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, but I was kind of hinting at that, but then the morning that he reached out to Nayoko, he was like, yeah, it's up to you. You either order something, pick up something, or bring something.
Gotcha.
So that kind of got rid of like, because I thought we were all going to get there, or at least order before we get there, and it all arrives at the same time because that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
But then she's like, okay, people are bringing stuff. So we just, instead of dashing, we just stopped by Taco Bell, picked it up,
Yeah.
and then went.
Got you.
Yeah, it was great though.
I was going to bring Chinese food, but they were closed. So.
Yeah, I had wings, a sub sandwich from Jersey Mike's.
Who did the queso?
Natalie.
Natalie.
The Jersey Mike's was a great touch because I
was.
was considering Jersey Mike's or like a Subway, like 6 foot sandwich.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you got to place an order like 4 hours before. I thought about getting a bunch of Whoppers or like McDonald's.
How do you feel after the large blizzard?
Oh, I shit my absolute brains out.
You got a large
I got a
blizzard?
large
Yeah.
Snickers
He
blizzard,
did,
and as soon as we were done, it was like the same drive from Detroit Boat Day to
Yeah.
going to La Hacienda. That I was like, I gotta fucking shit and take a nap at the same time.
Yeah.
That was a lot of ice cream.
It's a
Too much.
It's a power move, really.
I don't think I could handle above a small.
I got a
blizzard.
medium. Medium's always pretty good.
I also ate it pretty fast.
He did.
really
It was
got to
gone.
me.
I mean, it was at the same pace as like
I finished it before Brody finished his kid's
mini,
size.
yeah, his little mini guy. So,
That's impressive.
but
hey, I don't get to have ice cream a lot like I used to. And then now I'm getting my wisdom teeth out in like a couple months. All I get to have is fucking Frosties and shakes.
That's
I'm
true.
looking forward to it.
we need to make sure that we get Ashley to film you after your wisdom
Yeah.
tooth
My sedation.
extraction. When are you going to do? Are you timing that up with the
March
fucking-
28th,
So okay,
2 months from now.
wait. So March 28th then would be what? Where is that in the March Madness?
Second
is?
weekend.
The second weekend.
Yeah, because I'm going to be at my second bachelor party the first weekend.
right.
And I have to do it far enough before the wedding where I'm good recovery-wise and I can eat normal.
But they're okay. Yeah, so you're good.
And I'm just going to be watching basketball at home for that second
For
weekend,
sure,
which is
yeah.
fine.
It's a good plan. Good plan. A lot of people they get their testicles chopped off.
Vasectomy.
Yeah, the vasectomy. Yeah.
For during March Madness?
Yeah. They make it like a whole deal.
I had the evaluation today, and I wasn't aware of a lot of things. I wasn't aware that I couldn't Uber or Lyft and just take myself. Like, Ashley has to be there.
Yeah, you have to have a
She has to be in the waiting room. And also, this part I'm really excited about. Not because I can't walk, but they have to wheelchair me out to the parking lot. And the first question I had was, do you guys have a wheelchair for my size? And he takes me to the room and he goes, that's yours.
Ta-da.
I'm like, I'm like, go slow.
Yeah.
Let's wheel me around Tigard for a few rounds.
There's
Dude, give me a couple laps real quick.
They're gonna have to get everyone on standby to get you in and out of a car. So
Dude, I can't wait.
there is a plus-sized rapper who is suing Lyft because she was denied entry into a car. The guy said, I think that she claims that they said, like, you're going to make my tires go flat, which is just...
Was it Lizzo?
No, Lizzo's lost a lot of weight, apparently. So.
Has she?
Is it Lizzo?
I don't remember this gal's name, but, like...
There's a video of that where the driver was, like, putting the luggage in the car because there's two of them, and he thought it was a skinnier girl. And he goes, come in, get in. And then the big girl started getting in. He goes, wait.
Hold on.
No. You don't fit. It's like a Honda Fit. It was like a small car.
And this woman is large, like very.
And the driver said you won't fit. He
Yeah.
didn't just let fate play out.
He wouldn't even let her in. Like, he was really against it. He goes, you are not stepping
I
in
kind of
there.
respect that.
Now she's suing him. Like he wasn't wrong. Like I don't.
Then
know
why
if
not
she
just
would
let
fit.
her figure
I
it
don't
out?
know
He
if
has
she
the
would
right
fit.
to refuse service. To
That's
anyone.
true.
I suppose he's an independent contractor.
That's
so he
true.
can Decide what he wants, but
State law.
I didn't pick up Free Willy. I just wanted to take somebody to the airport. Do you see me play by harmonica? No.
I had so when I was in Virginia. Have you guys had Church's chicken? You guys like Church's
Fuck
chicken?
yeah, dude.
I haven't.
It's very good.
Churches is better than Popeyes.
It is. Yeah. The whole dynamic of it, I was with my coworker who had never had Churches, but he really wanted he saw like a bunch of like whatever mukbang food review videos. He was like, we have to try it. And they didn't have dine-in, so here I was, and he and I like got like our inner fat kid going. He was like, do you just want to get like a family meal together? So we got like 2 large sides, like a 12-piece chicken, and we're just like in our car trying to logistically figure this out.
A rental?
It was a rental, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Get after it.
Wiping greasy hands on the
Yeah.
fucking
Get
seat.
after it.
It was incredible. But
Was
yeah,
it a Toyota Sienna?
It was a Hyundai Elantra.
Ooh.
So yeah, 2025.
Sedan.
Yeah, it was a sedan. A very naggy car. There's so many safety features. It was like anyways. It was very annoying.
Nagging
car.
at you.
It was, yeah. It was
Pete
just
hates
like,
telling people what to do.
I mean, it's like you get like you get into the turn lane or you turn your turn signal on. It's like whoa, and you're like 5 car, like you're good. It like lets you know when the car in front of you is gone because they know
It was
that
too
you're on your
smart
phone.
for you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And you are considering getting a Tesla.
I don't know. I don't need a naggy car. So
Get a Cybertruck.
You seem like the type of person that would never own a self-driving car
no, it's too much.
because you'd be like, I actually think it's better to go this way.
That yeah,
You would purposely fight it.
Yeah.
The
It's
car
the-
says turn right, and he goes, I'm going left.
it's a level of control.
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely the level of control. But got to go to Yard House. Shout out Yard House. That was great. So
What would you do if all Yard House were gone?
I don't know. I told them shout out Yard. I
Yard
showed
House
up.
kind of sucks.
Shut your mouth. All right.
You
I will
remember-
walk
you
off
remember?
this. I will walk off.
What city were we in? Seattle?
Seattle. You didn't really like it. They didn't do
That
very
was. I got lobster scampi and it sucked.
good. Yeah. Well, that was.
How
kind
can
of
you
your fault.
fuck up lobster scampi?
I feel like it's easier to fuck up lobster scampi than like
What
an
made
onion
you
ring
get that
tower
out of
or
everything?
frickin' poke nachos.
Yeah, I'm not trying to order off the appetizer menu.
Why not? A great vampire taco.
I want a meal.
Listen, if it wasn't going to get me fired when my boss said that Yard House is like a elevated Applebee's,
Agreed.
I was gonna fight him.
I couldn't agree more.
So, but I show up. I'm so excited, and I say, "Hey, this is my no joke 17th Yard House that I've been to," and they did not show the enthusiasm that I was hoping that they would.
It's probably people that are more dedicated that's
Yeah.
been there 500 times.
You got a similar reaction as to Applebee's.
I'm not against Yard House at all. I don't think Yard House sucks, but
I don't
saying
either.
that it's an elevated Applebee's is pretty fucking accurate.
It is very true.
It's very accurate. It is. You can love Yard House all you want, but that is a very accurate description of Yard
It
House.
is.
Whatever. I disagree. 100 beers on tap. Great, like sports all over the place.
I don't.
You're
see,
describing Applebee's. It's exactly what I
Yes,
hear.
that's
you
correct.
have just described Applebee's.
And to have your like tagline or your draw to your place, your restaurant, to be, I have 100 beers on tap. I'm only going to drink one beer.
Well, you have the option to drink different beers.
Okay, let's say I'm going to have 6 total beers.
You go to a brewery. You want all those.
I'm going to have 6 of 100. I don't need 100 taps.
No, but at least you have the option. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to a beer.
And who's going to drink a
place
beer that's a yard
where I
tall?
just get like Voodoo Ranger or whatever the hell.
I
Or
would
freaking
love a
Lagunitas.
Voodoo Ranger.
You don't want that. So
I'd
just
love a Coors Light.
It is a more expensive Applebee's.
How dare all of you?
It is.
I refuse to admit this, but Virginia was lit. It wasn't lit.
And Yard House, if Yard House served wonton tacos, you'd be coming in your pants.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's an
that's true.
Applebee's.
We stayed next to Old Dominion University. I was very surprised, and maybe we're on the wrong side of Old Dominion, but there was like no college people. I was kind of expecting like to go to a dive bar, but it was just like no whatever. But then we also drove by Norfolk State University, and they had which is an HBCU, and they had on their video board, "Welcome Michael Vick." I forgot that he was hired as the head football coach.
You didn't talk to
Norfolk State.
any students in both those schools and like, are you excited to be the 15th seed in March Madness today? Because those are 2 15 seeds
Yeah.
almost every year.
Yeah, we'll talk about some college basketball tonight. I want to talk about your Blue Dew Devils. A couple of things that happened within the past week, including a gigantic vomit incident, which I don't know if you...
Yeah, the game last night was very strange. Somebody died, somebody puked, and Duke almost lost to an unranked team
NC
with a
State.
losing record.
Yeah.
That's granted, always gives them a run for their money, but that... A girl passed out in the student section.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
Yeah, so the Duke freshman center got hit right in the gut and immediately threw up everywhere and then went down, and he was taken out and he goes to the locker room. So I don't think it's a serious injury. Like something made him throw up.
The guy who vomited, yeah, I guess he had cramps and then he sucked down too much Gatorade and just like his...
And then he got like the wind knocked out of him and he just threw up. So they have to clean that up.
Projectile. It was like one of those like things that you see in a movie where it's just like...
Just exorcist.
Yeah.
And you know, if you've seen like the Coach K court, the people that sit underneath the hoop, they're right there, like in the out of bounds line. So it was like
there were people in the splash zone.
Yeah, it's
of
within
that
your
vomit.
toes, like within your fucking shoes. It's right there. So like people were like this, and then a few minutes later, some girl in the student section passes out, just fucking out.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 security guys comes in and like carries her lifeless body out in Coach K court. She was right at half court. And carries her out. And the camera's panning to everyone, and John Shire's like, what the fuck's going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
Duke's losing.
Yeah.
People are losing their fucking minds. Like, we're not really going to ruin a 2-loss season to this team with all of the fucking crazy shit happening.
The number of towels that they put down, I think it was like 100 towels that they put down to clean up that vomit.
You have to go
Was
to the
she
Hilton
okay?
Inn. I have no idea.
I'm sure
I've
she was
looked it up
fine.
this morning.
She
and
just
there's
passed out. She was drunk or whatever.
I have no idea if it's
Probably
alcohol.
lock the knees.
I have no idea if it's
Yeah, you're on
stress,
your
but I
feet
mean,
too
she
much.
just fucking
Classic lock
passed
the
out.
knees
You
situation.
can't lock the knees when you're standing for that long, man. You can't do that. You'll pass out.
It was a very strange night.
Duke,
I rem-
after that vomit incident, Duke went on an 11-2 run, and they won the games.
The girl passing out
So
inspired
that's all
them.
you need to win, huh?
Like, win for that girl who died.
Yeah.
Win for her.
Well, no, what happened? A Blazer game that happened. There was someone in the 100 level off to our right from Media Row. They stopped the game because this woman was having a medical incident. She was in her she wasn't like old, but she wasn't young, maybe like 50s or something like that. Like they transported her to the hospital and she just died. It was wild.
Crazy.
It was just like
The game last night was so strange, and it really, you can't even credit the entire Duke team. You just credit one person, because after that happened, Cooper Flagg just said, I'm not passing the ball. I'm just going to win this fucking game on my own.
Yeah.
And I think he had 16 points before that happened, and he finished with 28. And he just wasn't passing it. He's like, I'm just going to win. I'm going to win this game.
So he's not very empathetic, is what you're saying.
No, I don't want him to be. I want him to fucking.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, I want him to be fucking. I want him to be a killer.
Since we're on the topic, and we'll just like complete our series of college basketball talk. You will know who is also not empathetic. I don't know if this happened 1 or 2 weeks ago. We just never talked about it. It's what Dan Hurley did to the referee. You saw that?
Dan Hurley.
Did you see
Killed
this?
him?
No, but he was just
He
so
killed him?
He killed him. No, he was so angry at the referee. He's like, barking at the ref. The referee walks away. He goes, and I'll show you the video. He goes like, "Don't turn your back on me. I'm the best fucking coach in college basketball." And it was like,
Is he wrong?
The audacity.
If we were talking about Dan Hurley the way we were last season when college basketball wrapped up, he is. But right now, UConn's on a losing streak,
He's spiraling.
and then he had the balls to drop that mid-game to the ref, like, I'm the best coach in college basketball. How dare you turn your back on me?
That's like rule number 1 of being the best at anything.
Don't say that you are.
Don't say that you're the best at it.
And then he got all mad because he was asked about it post-game. He was like, "Oh, cameras are always on me." It's like, yeah, because you're so performative. Like, duh.
Is this your first day?
Yeah, have you ever seen yourself? Of course the cameras are on
Dan
you,
Hurley's
dumbass.
antics is great when they're winning. It really goes against them if they're not winning.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's electric regardless.
yeah, I
but
appreciate
It
him no
just
matter
doesn't
what.
work as well
Yeah,
when you're losing.
it's not accepted.
True.
It just doesn't
Good,
work as
good
well.
old Danny.
So fair or foul? I mean, does it work even if you're in a losing streak? And you say, "I'm the best college basketball coach."
I don't think anyone gets an exception, but for me, that's just the Hurleys are like that, win or lose.
Yeah.
Do I think he's the best coach in college basketball? No, I don't think
Yeah,
he is.
you got to kind of accept the crazy.
I accept who he is.
Yeah.
I know who he is, like the way his personality is, but he's not the best coach in college basketball.
Who is?
You'd probably expect me to say John Shire. I don't think John Shire is the best. I don't know.
Who's the guy who sweats a lot?
Archie Miller?
Auburn.
Or
Sean Miller?
Bruce?
Oh, or Bruce whatever?
Bruce.
Does he still coach?
Springsteen.
Yeah.
He had a whole
The Italian guy.
white hair. He sweats all the time.
You're talking about the Auburn guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's Bruce something.
Bruce whatever. Yeah, he's got the slick back hair.
Sure.
I think the guy that took over, the guy came from BYU that took over for Cal. I think Mark Pope is up there.
Yeah.
I think the Arkansas guy is up there. Or Alabama guy.
Alabama.
Alabama.
As sweat guys or
Cal
best
is better.
coach?
Best coach.
Sweat guy. An important
I was
distinction. considering
confused.
Where we were at. Where's Sean Miller at though?
Sweat guy, Sean Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xavier.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean Miller is the big sweat. That's not a
Bruce
white
Pearl.
hair guy. Bruce
Bruce
Pearl.
Pearl.
Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bruce Diamond.
Classic mix up.
Bruce.
Wrong Jules, bitch.
Yeah, wrong. Let's see. So we had a very important weekend in the NFL, which was our
Really?
championship games.
You think it was important?
In the annals of history?
I love
would
annals.
say in the annals of history, it definitely would be. You have now your Super Bowl matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. We will start with the NFC game, in which you had a game that seemed pretty close there in the second quarter, which then quickly got out of hand after the touchdown by the Eagles and then the fumble and then the touchdown again. I mean, you start off the game where you've got Saquon, where Jalen Hurts changes the first play of the game, and then Saquon Barkley busts out for 68 yards or whatever. It was just kind of that type of a game. Talk about early cashing of bets there with Saquon. I mean, he was at minus 220 to score a touchdown in the game.
But it's so crazy that the later you get in the season, you think, like, people will be able to stop him. Like, he'll score, but maybe he won't get the numbers that people are expecting because his rushing yard total for betting was at 110 for Sunday.
Was that rushing and receiving?
Rushing.
Or was that just rushing?
Just rushing. And that's like, that's fucking high, dude.
Yeah.
And this guy finishes with 118. I was like, man, like, no one can stop him.
Yeah, he's the type of guy who will get you like 1 and 2 yards, and they'll stuff them, and then like 68 yards.
Yeah, 70-yard run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I follow a podcaster who is big Washington guy. And so there was a part of me listening to him that was like, oh, the Commanders can do this, but what was it? The second play, first play?
It was first play of the game. Yeah, I mean they
rips off a 70-yard touchdown or whatever.
Jalen Hurts like changes the play, sees something in the coverage, and then like moves them off from like left to right or right to left, and then boom, that was all she wrote.
Yeah,
so.
And he said the one thing that we can't have as Commanders fans, we can't let Saquon Barkley score a long touchdown in first play.
As good as Saquon is,
he didn't do that.
Somebody that doesn't get a lot of credit. If anything, he gets a lot of negative opinions about him. Jalen Hurts, just because he throws for 173 yards, I think deserves a lot of credit for knowing how to do and when to do shit like that and just not make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't throw for 5 TDs and for 400 yards. It's like he's not as good as certain guys, but look where he is. He's in his second Super Bowl in fucking 3 years, and he's able to Peyton Manning his way in the fucking line of scrimmage and be like, I see something. That's a smart thing.
I'm glad you said that because I totally agree. I think that one of the most impressive things, and like Jalen Hurts had one of his best games in a couple of months, but I think that what he has done well, especially like as he's gotten more accustomed with Saquon Barkley, is like he can envision exactly what it's like for Saquon in that moment. Like he can call out of that play and be like, not just like thinking about this in the context of a quarterback, but in the context of I change this, I know exactly. Like we've seen this like multiple times, even in the last couple of weeks where, where Saquon's busting out for 60, 70-yard plays. And I think that part of that is a credit to what Jalen Hurts is seeing in that pre-snap.
Yeah, and also winning doesn't necessarily mean flashy stats and flashy numbers. If it's 170 yards and a touchdown, sometimes it gets you really far to just not make mistakes.
Yeah.
To not throw picks, to just check it down rather than throwing it deep and risking a fucking pick or a turnover of some sort.
Yeah. And I mean, and when we look at the Super Bowl matchup, and we know that Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts are superstars, but like compared to their seasons, these haven't been like such crazy stats or anything like that. And we'll talk about the Chiefs obviously next. But I mean, it's just kind of like a matter of like finding a way to win the game.
They both did what they had to do.
Yeah,
either of them are in the running for an MVP. They're not. They didn't put up those kind of numbers, but their teams are the last two standing
for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh Allen would take that. I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson would take that.
And for us and for a lot of fans out there of the NFL, I feel like these two teams were ones that were like, oh, yeah, they're good, but we're focused on X, Y, and Z team. These are the best teams in the NFL. And I think that both these teams did such a good job of just staying right under the radar.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, we're there, we're good, especially with the Chiefs. Obviously, they're going to get the eyes on them no matter what.
Yeah.
But I feel like they rode that line so well this season to where they're, which there shouldn't be, but there is like a little bit of like excitement and surprise to these teams being there. Like I don't think anybody, if you asked them week 6 of the NFL this year, if you asked them, oh, Eagles, Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl, they'd be like,
you can ask one person who's sitting right here that won a future that long ago. It's this guy.
Yeah. You cashed in on Eagles Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So congratulations.
How
to
much?
You.
$20 won 200.
Nice.
And that pays for all your Super Bowl bets this year. So
every penny is going to be used.
And I'm going to work through this analogy. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Is that like the Eagles and the Chiefs are like marathon runners this season. They are marathon runners. When you see like the Commanders or the Lions, you think like these are your like 200-meter, your 100-meter dash guys. These are the teams that will like blow you out 55 to whatever. But then when you kind of get to that game, Lions don't show up. Obviously, Commanders run into a juggernaut in the Eagles with Saquon and Jalen Hurts having their best games. But when you think about like the Eagles and the Chiefs, and we talked about this, I think, even just last week, the Chiefs are like one of the most efficient teams of finding a way to beat you, relying on one thing where it's like, listen, I don't need to run a lap in this like sprint. I need to run consistent 7-8 minute miles, and that is the way that I'm gonna like do it and do it well.
Yeah,
Also,
they wear you down.
The old saying stays true. These two are the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been true even halfway through the season. The only reason you weren't able to see that with Philly early on is because half of those guys were hurt.
Up on the porch, please. Thank you very much.
But like half the Eagles were hurt. But as soon as Darius Slay was back, as soon as Jalen Carter was back, it's clear as fucking day that it was never the Ravens, it was never the Lions. For defenses, it's these two, and they're the last two standing.
Yeah.
The Chiefs' defense is no fucking joke, because you can give Josh Allen all the credit you want. If his defense fucking stepped up even half to how he performed on Sunday, Bills would have won that game.
Yeah.
But they can't stop Kansas City.
Yeah, and I think that like, and we'll talk about the Chiefs and their defense and just like specific plays next. Thank you. It's just, again, how you can disguise coverages, how you can, keep teams guessing and all of that. I think that like for the Eagles and what they did with the Commanders, I mean, like the Commanders, you just have to be so excited about what's happening with that team. And obviously you bring in new GM, new coach. You've got like a bunch of things that paid off for you. Jaden Daniels is like, people are already in the conversation of saying like there's only just a couple of teams who wouldn't trade for him if they had the option. And so, but when it comes down to it, you're right. Like on the defensive side, the Lions couldn't say that this year because they just had so many injuries.
But if you look at like with the Chiefs defense, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with Steve Spagnuolo, because if you really look at that game on Sunday, did he really stop Josh Allen? Not really. I mean, Josh Allen got the ball to Kincaid falling down. Had Kincaid made that fucking play,
Yeah.
they probably could have won, or at least gone to overtime and see how it goes. Josh Allen wasn't necessarily stopped. His defense couldn't stop Kansas City. The thing that was impressive with the Eagles is you're facing this exciting rookie, and they got theirs. They got their numbers still. The stats were there. Yeah, like Eckler fumbled, whatever, but Jaden Daniels got his. The thing that you need to stop with an exciting team like that is you can't give them that opportunity to make a big comeback win. And the Eagles defense did a great job just maintaining and just holding on to that fucking monster.
Yeah.
Don't give him a chance to be within 6 or within 7 and make a game-winning drive, because he'll probably fucking do it. And they did a great job with that. And that, as good as that defense was, you don't know how they function the same way that you know how Spagnuolo functions, because you know what you're getting there. And it's really good, and it's hard to stop.
Yeah, and to that point, the Commanders got within 2, I think. It was 12-14 at one point. And for the Eagles to be able to kind of put their foot down and be like, okay, this is the closest it's going to get, more power to them. I mean, I loved how that game went, because I feel like Philadelphia did not use all the weapons in their arsenal. I feel like
They still won by 30.
Devontae Smith barely got the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like they saved some of the cream for
Whoa.
for the Super Bowl.
You
know
got to
what I
let
mean?
the hot white cream
Yep.
make it to the
Thank
top.
you,
Yeah,
Miguel.
there
Thank you.
go.
But for all the tinfoil wearing hats that say the NFL is rigged and it's scripted, this could not be less scripted. The lowest rated Super Bowl was Philly and Kansas City 2 years ago. So if you think that they wanted to script to have the same two teams that got them the lowest rating in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
you'd have to come up with something else, because nobody wanted to see this. Like everybody wanted to see Josh Allen or the Bills or even the rookie. No one wanted to see this. But for me, it's not that I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I just thought that the 2 years ago, that Super Bowl was fucking perfect. It was perfect until that last bullshit call.
Yeah.
They let him play the entire time until that defensive holding that got Butler the final kick to win, and it ruined the fucking it ruined the game. So a revenge Super Bowl win for Philly, I'm 1,000% for the Birds. Yeah. A revenge win, Saquon's first Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts' first Super Bowl. I am all the way Philly.
Yeah, ruin the three-peat. Ruin the three-peat type of deal.
And a three-peat in history, though, I think it would also be kind of cool.
And that's what I was going to say. I feel like we are in a position, because I feel like I know Miguel is rooting for the Eagles. I don't know about you, Pete.
I've got a bet on the Chiefs, so here I am with the Chiefs. So.
But I feel like this is a win-win, because if you're rooting for the Eagles, they're, obviously they're a historic team. They've got a lot of fans behind them. And, I think it'd be fun to see that city win another Super Bowl. But if they don't, you're watching history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a win-win either way.
Also, I want to address probably one of the, most polarizing characters or players in the game that I don't think, especially this season, that he gets enough credit because he's not putting up the flashy stats. But Travis fucking Kelce, just because he's not getting 8-9 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns, what a huge reason why they won on fucking Sunday. He just did all of the dirty fucking work.
Yeah.
That guy was blocking his ass off. He was setting picks. At this point,
he was causing penalties. There was the unsportsmanlike penalty after the touchdown where he instigates and then flops and then
the thing is, it's perfect because
such a pest.
He's already accomplished so much. He's regarded as one of the best tight ends, right? He has the stats to back it up. He can retire and be considered one of the best players in the league. Right now, he just cares about winning more than anything. He doesn't care about stats.
Yeah.
And he kind of played a Draymond Green type role on Sunday where he's like, I'm just going to do all the dirty behind-the-scenes work to make sure we fucking win.
Right.
You don't need to get me the ball. And the thing is, he gets so much attention still that being a decoy gets the ball to fucking Hollywood Brown, to Hopkins, and to Pacheco or anyone else. Yeah, fucking great performance by him.
For selfish reasons, not to get too sentimental by any means, but the last time these two teams played, I was in a hospital bed, couldn't see. I watched the Super Bowl.
That's right, yeah.
But I couldn't even really make out who was playing. It was the first time in probably the last, 10 years that I haven't watched the Super Bowl with my friends.
That's right, yeah.
So to have this matchup again,
You
to
get to
watch
actually
it in
see
Mexico
The
with
redemption.
my boys.
It's a redemption tour for you, for the Eagles, possibly.
I'm excited. It's
Yeah.
going to be electric.
It's part 1 for you. It's not part
It's
2
not
of this
part
match.
two.
Matchup 1.
Yeah. And I think that, the whole thing about the script, right? There's obviously, and we'll talk about here momentarily, which is a couple of 50-50 things. You've got the Josh Allen rush, which some people thought that he would have gotten the first down. There's also the worthy 50-50 ball where they gave it to the Chiefs when really it maybe should have gone to the Bills. But when you think about the script side of things, that Super Bowl was already not really watched anyways. I think that there's the rooting interest. There's the beginning of the Batman movie where who is it, Bane or whomever, the whole Heinz Field gets imploded or whatever. And I think that that's kind of the meme that people are this is what we hope happens in the Super Bowl. I don't think anyone's rooting for.
That's what Quentin said on Sunday. He was, I was born in milk, officer. As he was sucking on Jarrah.
Yeah.
I was born in milk.
So, but yeah, this. I bet this will be one of the lowest rated Super Bowls.
Whatever.
In recent memory,
the rest
which
of
I don't
America
care,
would be
but
scripted and rigged.
they'll
But
still watch.
here's the thing: you know what league you're playing in, and if you want to beat a team like the Chiefs, the same way that you want to beat a team like fucking Duke, the same way you want to beat a team like the Lakers or whatever it is. If you're playing on the road and you're Buffalo, those 50-50 calls are not going your way in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. Because it could be the same thing that those 50-50 calls are not going to the Challengers' way in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So you have to create a big enough gap where you're not relying on those calls. But they couldn't do that. And you can't say that they necessarily got fucked over. Yeah, it could have been a first down. But here's the thing. You're in Arrowhead. You're playing on the road in a fucking hostile environment against the champions. You're not getting those calls, number 1. Number 2, your coach made a lot of questionable fucking decisions.
Yeah, you went away from the run.
The tush push wasn't working. It really wasn't working, and they kept wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Number two, you had one guy that was absolutely murdering it. James Cook was killing it, absolutely fucking killing it in all-purpose yards. He did not touch the ball in the last 6 minutes of the fucking game.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was dinged up or whatever, but he didn't touch the ball in the last 6 minutes of the game. Why aren't you giving he's not your best player. Josh Allen is, but he was producing. He had 85 yards rushing and like 30 receiving.
Yeah. It is. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say to your point, the Bills knew from top to bottom, everybody in that organization knew that they had to take control of that game. You couldn't leave it to the refs. You couldn't leave it to, home field advantage. Though you didn't want those types of decisions to happen. I think they knew that if it came down to those types of decisions, they were going to lose.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that was the circumstance they were put in. Obviously, I think most of us wanted the Bills to win. It would have been electric to see Josh Allen against the Eagles. But everybody and their grandmother knew you couldn't bring it down to a ticky-tack decision by the refs because the Chiefs will always win that.
But here's the thing too. The Bills are good, and the Bills are so good, and Josh Allen is so good that they still had a chance.
Yeah,
and I think that's
going.
what separates like the Kansas City Chiefs versus everybody else. That pass to Kincaid, that is a play you make in the postseason. It is not an easy play. But these are the plays that you make. The David Tyree gum fucking catch, the Edelman, the Julian Edelman catch against the Falcons. These
Beckham
are the
Jr. catches.
wild
Yeah.
fucking plays that you make in the playoffs.
Yeah.
To get there. And
Players have to make
Kincaid
the plays.
fucking had it.
Yeah.
Because Josh Allen was falling down, getting hit.
It was incredible that he was even able that.
He was
seemed
on
like a
point
throwaway,
with that
yeah.
pass.
And that was in your arms. I mean, the whole thing is like if it touches your hands or your body, you've got to catch that ball.
That's the
in
thing
that
is
situation.
like if you have superstars or role players, you just all have to someone has to make a play, and this is the same Mark Andrews catch that was dropped.
Yeah.
You have to make that play because sometimes it's that one play that gets you to the next game.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
And regardless of how things went with the calls or anything like that, you stop the Chiefs. You get the ball with 3.5 minutes to go, 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, and only down 3. That's
That's
your
what
time.
you want.
That's exactly what you want. I know that we know the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago, how teams were scoring, the Gabe Davis 5 touchdown game or whatever. But I mean, when it comes down to it, that is a perfect scenario for you guys, the Bills, to go out and win that game. And so how did you guys feel like Josh Allen looked in that situation, regardless of MVP status or whatever? I mean, to me, when I saw that, I saw a Josh Allen who lost that je ne sais quoi, that swagger, that MVP level. I'm not saying that he played scared, but it just kind of there were moments where I felt like his eyes looked wider than they have been all year when there's been such looseness, so much free play.
I can understand what you're saying. I don't think that comes from a sense of fear of the moment.
Yeah.
I think this is a very unique position where Josh Allen couldn't have been more ready and prepared for this moment.
Right.
But he is realizing he doesn't have the pieces around him to satisfy what is needed to win. That's what I saw. Because I think we've talked a lot this season about how the Bills are good, but they're working with kind of B players, C players. Khalil Shakir has come out to be a guy that's going to be known for a while. They picked up a few pieces, obviously, with Amari Cooper. But the fact of the matter is, Josh Allen was that team.
Yeah. But they found the run this year, and they found the run in that game, and to Miguel's point, they just kind of abandoned it. It was interesting that...
I'm not I'm no longer on the side of like hating on Josh Allen. I think he is very well deserving of possibly winning the MVP. But that's a take because they lost. That like him not having pieces is a losing take. It's because they lost. He doesn't have B players, dude. Like James Cook is fucking legit. Shakir and these guys, they're fucking legit because you can go back to.
But I named those two guys.
But
I'm saying outside of those two guys, who do they got?
That goes the same for a lot of other teams, though. You're not rocking like
But
superstars across the board.
But I'm not talking about a lot of other teams. I'm talking about the teams that they're playing in the playoffs. And the teams that they're playing in the playoffs have 3, 4, 5 guys.
But I mean, okay, but let's look at the Chiefs. And I know that we have Hollywood Brown and we've got DeAndre Hopkins who are on the
Xavier World,
right? But I mean, like
Travis Kelce.
But I mean, like the Chiefs have
Gray,
done it. The Chiefs have done it in the same way
Pacheco,
that the
Kareem
Patriots
Hunt.
have done it. They have done it the Patriots way. The Chiefs have because, like, yes, obviously you have a couple of like name recognitions. They're on
I
the
just
tail
named like
side.
7.
yeah, but Braxton,
Yeah, but I mean-
Braxton, who you're naming, that is such
Juju
a
Smith-Schuster.
that's such a hypocritical take. You just named Worthy and Noah Gray and all these guys. You don't give Mahomes any credit for knowing
No, I'm
those
not-
guys.
That's not what I'm saying.
Because we know Dawson Knox, we know Dalton Kincaid, we know Mac Hollins, and all of these guys because of how good Josh Allen is.
Yeah,
so I don't think
exactly.
you can make the same excuse because with Tom Brady, we knew who fucking Chris Hogan was.
And they're better without Stephon
and-
Diggs, aren't they?
Amendola and Julian Edelman. I mean, these great quarterbacks is the reason why you fucking know these guys. Noah Gray's not an A player. Justin Watson's not an A player. Xavier Worthy is a fucking rookie. That's Mahomes for you. That's Patrick Mahomes. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can make that same take. And Joe Burrow beat fucking Patrick Mahomes with quote unquote B squad, if we want to go there, 3 years ago or 4 years ago and made it to the Super Bowl. So I don't think this is taking credit away from Josh Allen, but we would not be like to consider a B squad around you. No, this is a legit fucking team, and this is a case of 90s NBA running into Michael Jordan. That's all this is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all this
that's
is.
very
agree
true.
with that.
Because you are going to take Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, John Stockton, Karl Malone. Those teams legit could win a championship any other season.
Yeah,
but there's
you're absolutely right.
One team.
one dynasty they kept running into.
Yeah.
And I think that's what frustrates me as somebody who's been a Josh Allen fan since he got drafted, is the reality.
Except for 4 weeks this season.
What do you mean?
You bailed on them. I think it's on record.
I was upset.
He was upset.
I was upset, but he brought back. But you're absolutely right. It's unfortunate to think that Josh Allen most likely will not win a Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes.
Right, unless Patrick Mahomes is
Dies.
injured. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not there.
I think if you're looking at the Bills, if you're a Bills Mafia, you're just a diehard Bills fan. And I'm looking at every other team because at the end, one wins. So everyone's going to run into that one. And it's frustrating, and I get it. The Bills still have a better chance of winning the whole thing than like a window for like the Detroit Lions. Like to me, this was Detroit's best year to win
For
the Super
sure.
Bowl. And losing Ben Johnson and possibly like you can't keep that roster intact. There's just no way with money. There's just no
Yeah,
fucking
they
way.
lose their both offensive and
That
defensive
window has
coordinators.
significantly gotten smaller. This was their absolute best chance. And I would still take possibly the Ravens, possibly the Bills to win it all when the Chiefs start dwindling down. Detroit is that team that I'm like, you guys fucked it up.
Yeah.
You fucked it up big time. This was your best chance at
And
it.
especially to lose the way they did. I know we talked about it last week, but that was off.
To give you guys some perspective about Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, he's now 17-3 in the playoffs with 50 touchdowns against 8 interceptions, 6,100 and change passing yards, and a QB rating of 105.6.
He sucks.
So passer rating, sorry.
On Sunday,
rating.
Cuellar gave me this stat that he saw that morning. And he said there were, 5 or 6, maybe 7 quarterbacks that are measured by them getting the ball while they're down and coming back to win in the postseason. And it was like Brady and Breeze and Peyton Manning, and they're like 7-3, like 8-2, whatever. Patrick Mahomes is 7-7, 7 out of 7.
7-4-7. Yeah.
7-0, like perfect. He has always made a comeback to fucking win. People can hate him all they fucking want, but the guy knows how to fucking win, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about GOAT status. The player that I want to acknowledge as probably the GOAT, at least over the past decade, guy no other than Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is a guard for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Doesn't get enough credit. Does not get enough credit.
He has made the Super Bowl in 2016, 17, 18, 2022, 23, and 24, and has been in the Patriots dynasty and now with the Chiefs. Just an incredible run for my boy Joe Thuney.
When you talk about offensive linemen, you hear about like Mailata and Lane Johnson and Trent, fucking Niners guy, Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams.
You never hear about Thuney. And this guy, all he does is fucking win. All Pacheco does is run to his side.
Yeah.
And granted, Pacheco hasn't been the same since he came back from injury, but Joe Thuney is a fucking Hall of Fame lineman.
This guy went to NC State from 2011 to 2015. He was drafted in the 3rd round, 78th pick by the Patriots. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. And then when you look at like the Patriots all 2010s team, all dynasty team, all this other stuff, you just go like, holy shit, like I don't know what this guy's net worth is, but when you look up and down, you just go, damn, like this guy over the last decade is
I bet you,
a
you look
winner.
You look
My
up his
God.
net worth.
Yeah.
It doesn't match what he's accomplished.
Let me see what Joe Thuney
Guards don't
earnings.
get paid a lot.
Career earnings for Joe Thuney. Let's see.
It says he's made $20 million his entire career and $18 million on DoorDash credits. That's how he stays big.
I applied for a job at DoorDash, by the way.
Did you?
Did you get it? Like not delivering, but
No.
like an account executive.
Yeah, for the corporate team.
Did you get it?
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. So when he was drafted, Thuney made $1.5 million, and then it dipped to around $665,000. Then up now he's making a little bit of money. He's up to $16 million this year. But
Good.
you know,
It should be more.
career earnings for him is around $84 million.
Look at the quarterbacks he's played with. How often have they been hurt? What a great measure of a really good lineman.
At first, I was wondering if you were fucking with me on this, but it seems like you.
No, Joe Thuney is fucking incredible, dude. You think a big
wasn't
man doesn't
sure.
know offensive line? That's
Yeah.
my position.
I wasn't sure.
He's one of the few offensive linemen that I know by name, so you know he's doing well.
Should we send him one of
Yes.
our stickers?
Yeah.
He is a big man certified. Mr. Thuney. So we'll talk next week about the matchup itself. But before we move on, I thought it was interesting. I've never seen, just to go back to the Eagles Commanders, that goal line tush push and all the things that
that
went
was
around
weird.
with it. The Luvu jumping on the hard count a couple of times, which was incredible. And then all of a sudden, Sean Hockley, whichever the younger one, Sean Hockley comes on and says, listen, if they keep doing this, we're just going to award them the touchdown. And everyone's like, you can do that? And apparently you can. It was
Is that so? That's because I didn't know that either, but that's because it's goal line. So if you're not in goal line, I wonder if it's like we're going to give them the first down. That would make sense, right?
Apparently, they can just award them scores any time.
The rule is called like the it's like the unfavorable action act or something like that.
Something weird.
Which is a very rare rule in football, but I guess is a thing.
Yeah. It's like if they keep
It also
doing
ties
this,
to sodium intake, probably.
It does.
we will just award them points. And I'm like, I had no idea. I was like, they're just making this up at a certain point. But apparently it was very much a rule.
Are they just introducing this week so when they give the Chiefs the Super Bowl, they're like, hey, remember this rule we brought up?
We're going to give them about 25 more points.
We're giving them 6 points at least.
I know no one's jumped yet, but it's gonna happen. So here's
I
the-
saw it in his eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it back to the college basketball game last night. Same thing of rules that we didn't know existed. I don't know if you were aware. You guys probably didn't watch a Duke game midweek, but there was something that happened last night where the Duke point guard against NC State tried to save the ball from going out of bounds and trying to keep his foot in bounds.
Okay.
And he's holding. So you don't know this.
I don't know this.
So
no.
this was a perfect example of like the first thing I did is go to Twitter and see how many people talked about it. He grabbed the ball and he is hanging on by one foot with the other leg high up in the air. The freshman Knipple held
I
on
hardly knew her, yeah.
on to his leg up in the air to keep him from going out of bounds, which was an incredibly high IQ play.
Yeah.
Unless it's illegal. Because he held on to him. He was about to fall out of bounds, and he just grabbed his leg and pulled him. And it was in front of the opposing bench, and the NC
And
State
he pulled
player-
him.
He didn't pull him. He just, like,
Kept him from falling
kept
out
him
of
from
bounds.
falling out and, like, tugged a little bit.
Got you.
And the whole NC State bench was like, what the fuck? Is that legal?
And was it?
And it was absolutely legal.
Wow.
There is no rule against that. It's not a tech. It's not anything. They were saying, like, oh, you could have fucking, like, injured him or whatever. But he very delicately just, like, kept him from falling out of bounds and then, like, hugged him as soon as he was back in bounds.
Interesting.
Everybody was fucking confused. It was like, should they blow the whistle on that? What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
But that was another rule that I didn't know existed.
The official name for what you were looking for was called a palpably unfair act.
Yes.
Yes.
I knew
So,
it was an act of some
Yeah.
kind. Not a rule,
an act.
not a penalty,
Yeah.
an act.
It's a PUA.
Yeah.
It's a pua.
I respected what Luvu was doing there on that play. Just that,
I do
like,
too.
that dive. And then they were like, well, if he keeps doing that, we're going to give him an unsportsman. It's like he's just trying
Well,
to.
and
They're exploiting something why I can't die.
We've been watching competitive sports at a competitive level for a long time, boys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just me, but I have definitely thought of that before.
Yeah.
Like,
He's not
why
launching.
not just crush into the center and get an offsides until you stop them?
Which
Yeah.
Which NFL player in history did that fucking flawlessly?
Troy Polamalu.
Polamalu, baby. All fucking day. He timed it right every fucking time.
And I respect it. I don't think
the
that
flying Hawaiian.
I honestly, I didn't think that Luvu was honestly like trying to. I thought he was legitimately trying to make a play. I don't think he was trying to disrupt anything.
No, he was trying to make a play. He just
Yeah.
couldn't. He's no Troy. He didn't have the hair.
right. And
did.
Troy's hair.
Yeah.
That was the thing that
They
made
just
him.
were trying to do the. He was just trying to time it. So I was a little annoyed
No,
that they
I-
were trying to penalize him.
Yeah,
for
I respect the move so
trying to do
much.
it. So.
Because if he timed it right,
They're done.
That could have been it. I mean, that
That's
could have been
it.
the difference.
Game over.
Yeah, they would have lost by 14 instead of 30.
Yeah. So, anyways, we will talk in nauseum next week about the
Super Bowl.
about the Super Bowl, the bets, all that stuff. So come prepared for that. Both us and you, come prepared for that.
Come.
Or at the very minimum, come. And I think that again, there's a lot of haters as to like, oh, this is the worst or whatever. I'm not like so up in arms that
I
like,
tell you
this
what,
is the
when your
matchup.
prospect is watching the Super Bowl in Mexico, it's the best Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe
was
that's what
gonna
it
say.
is. Yeah.
Super Bowl in
I
Colorado.
know.
I don't think I've ever been more excited about a Super Bowl.
I mean, I know that there's like the significant others that enjoy getting together and watching Super
Lindsay's a
Bowl.
little bummed, yeah.
For the most part, I think this is really like the guys get more out of it, and the fact that it's just us, like it's usually in general, maybe not this group, like the wives don't care about Super Bowl. It's like
No.
the food and getting together and all that, but like watching the game, it's everyone that's going to be on the strip that's like tuning in. I do want to say maybe I should like do a dinner to appreciate the wives for letting you guys go for fucking 5 or 6 days to go to Mexico, because that is a lot.
Which, by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Some of the wives are getting together while we are gone.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I don't know if Jara has been invited yet. I think that there may have been talk about incorporating her in. I know that there's obviously you've got a 1-month-old.
I know she's getting together with Saran.
Yeah. So, and maybe now all of them. I think they're having bagels on Super Bowl morning. So,
such a wife thing.
Bagels.
Yeah.
You want to get bagels before the Super Bowl starts?
Yeah, some baggies and some cream cheese. I do want to talk about obviously coaching hires have been made. Now they've had the press conference and everything. The Cowboys go ahead and on a Friday night news dump, go ahead and hire Brian Schottenheimer.
Excuse me? What was that name?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Oh, I thought you sneezed. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. He's Marty Schottenheimer's
You don't
son.
know Schottenheimer?
I know Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah. Brian Schottenheimer, I'm pretty sure he was with the Seahawks for a while, wasn't he? Either way, he was a hire so that Jerry Jones can keep on being Jerry Jones without a Deion Sanders or someone else taking credit or anyone else getting in the way. It just allows him to just continue to be him with little resistance.
I might be very wrong on this. You guys can tell me. But this screams, in my opinion, Jerry Jones had a conversation with Deion, and the conversation went, "Hey, Deion, do you want to come coach the Cowboys?" And he's like, "Yeah, but give me 2 more years." And he's like, "All right, I got this bozo I can hire."
Yeah,
for
it won't
2
mean
years,
anything to me when I fire his ass.
Yeah,
was almost
we can probably get rid of Dak by then too, so you can start fresh.
It was almost like a Jerry Jones hire that's let me do the opposite of what everyone's expecting just so people can stop talking negatively about me. Let me not hire anyone that people are expecting, and it's a prove it, look, I'm different type of hire.
So
when
when
no one is talking about that guy and he's not interviewing anywhere else, and then he's the guy you hire. Come on.
Didn't Jerry Jones even come out and say look what I did? It's not what you're expecting. It's just to prove you wrong.
Well, and again, it comes back to my point. Over the next 2 years, Cowboys fans are going to be begging for somebody like Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point, you were saying he comes out and he says all this. Did you guys see what he said? It's a quick 9-second soundbite, but here was Jerry Jones. I don't exactly know the context, but I don't know if context is needed here.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
Glory holes? A very
Just
low,
a low
percentage.
of
That
smiles
means
and
that
glory
glory
holes.
holes
and glory
exist
holes.
in this situation.
He's also correct that glory holes ties with smiles. He is absolutely right. With
It's
that.
pretty wild. So they hire Brian Schottenheimer. He thinks that he can win multiple Super Bowls with Dak Prescott. I think that maybe there's something right about that, where you just go, okay, how can we untether ourselves with a guy who's just going to fail? I hadn't thought of that. He was very insightful.
That really is what I think is happening.
And as a guy who loves optics, the Cowboys absolutely losing the optics game, because then they go out and you know who they hired as their fucking defensive coordinator? Matt Eberflus. Come on,
what a gem!
What are you doing?
You know what a great hire though?
The worst.
Robert Saleh back to the Niners.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
As a DC. That is a great hire.
I just whatever the Cowboys do, and we'll talk about that next. The Cowboys just absolutely losing the optics game, but maybe they just think no matter what we'll suck, but now we've got all this money to spend on CD. We're not going to be able to get rid of that money. We got all this money on Dak. We're not going to. So yeah, let's
They're
just
going to suck
for a couple of
regardless.
years
I mean, who cares?
But when's the last time the Cowboys have publicly been in a rebuilding year?
Yeah, been a minute. Yeah.
Are they going to try to front this as hey, we're going to win now? No.
You're never going to see them, nor would it ever be announced that they're rebuilding. Technically, you look at this year, yeah, you have CeeDee Lamb, but who else did you have outside of CeeDee Lamb? Who was your backfield?
Dak
fucking
Prescott.
Rico Dowdle.
Never heard
and
of him?
Zeke.
Well, they released Zeke, and no one even wanted Zeke. So
Like this has been a rebuilding team for fucking 2 or 3 years. I just want to
Yeah,
admit
but they'll never admit it.
yeah.
They'll never do that.
You bring up Robert Saleh. He's going back as a defensive coordinator for San Francisco.
He's back home.
Who is also returning to a former team is none other than Josh McDaniels, joining Mike Vrabel as an offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. It feels like, as a person who is watching Gilmore Girls, right? It feels like a '90s reboot of this
it
whole
does.
thing, where it's like
Patriots are
Early
everyone's just
2000s reboot.
Patriots have 4 guys in the coaching staff
Yeah.
that used to coach the Patriots.
It's wild. But they
4
are going to
total.
be getting rid of Bill Belichick's son. So
It does
Sad.
feel because the Patriots, for I'm sure all of us in our early years, were the Chiefs of now, where they were winning all the time. They had the best quarterback. They had the best coach. Everybody, not everybody, but people loved them. They bandwagoned them. But a lot of times you were like, fuck the Patriots. We don't want to see them win.
yeah.
But now, I don't know about you guys, but there's a part of me that's like, oh, it would be kind of nice to see the Patriots
Because they've been so bad.
get back to prominence.
McDaniels and Vrabel is a pretty good winning formula, I think. I think they'll be
Yeah,
all
we'll
right.
see.
I just don't think I do want to see them win. I never really hated the Patriots, but because they've been so bad, I do want to see them win, so I get that. I just don't think Drake May is the guy.
Really? I mean, Mr.
Really?
Pro Bowl. I mean,
I don't
he's a
think Drake May is the
reserve,
guy.
but I mean, Drake May made a Pro Bowl.
I'm not
this
a
year.
I mean,
loser.
he played well for the time.
I
that he did.
actually think that Drake May is the guy.
What is really cool though going into this Super Bowl is to know that within our lifetime we've had the opportunity to see, not arguably, but the best quarterbacks and teams and coaches of NFL history have all existed within our life. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
What is interesting is that my hate for LeBron on the other side, but like I'm fine with like the Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. I need some introspection.
So you're racist?
Because Mahomes is only half black.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, there's some ambiguity there.
Thank you.
That's not
thanks
where
for clearing
I was
that up.
going with that. But let's see. Okay, so you've got Pete Carroll. The when we're thinking about weird hires as well, I think Pete Carroll to the Raiders, so weird. Like the guy
I
is
love it.
he's almost 74 years old.
I
when
love
he
that.
coaches his first game with the Raiders, he'll be 73 years old and 11 months.
And they're going to suck.
and the thing is,
But I love it.
is that it doesn't necessarily like scream long-term plan.
No.
Again, he's gonna die. Like, I mean, like, how many years is he gonna be doing this? 2 or 3 years? It just lacks, I think, long-term vision.
But
Yeah,
do
are
you
you
now
making-
kind of want to watch the Raiders?
Yeah, of course.
Then they won.
A lot of like I know like the whole thing, especially your takes, is like big optics and big this, but like you're not hiring a coach thinking that you're going to be with him for the next 10 years. There's a lot of professional teams across all major sports that make moves, not necessarily because it's the long-term move for the next 10 years, but because it'll sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, the Bronny move, is he better than the next guy? No. But that brings seats brings fucking people to seats. That sells merchandise. It sells tickets. Like Zion moved to fucking New Orleans. Yeah, he's hurt half the time. These are like money-making moves sometimes when there's a name.
They
Okay,
want
that
they
brings
want 2
people.
years out
Sure.
of Pete.
But I would agree with you. But the one thing that gives me pause on that is the Tom Brady effect, because Tom Brady, obviously a minority owner with the Raiders, and he, by all accounts, has had a lot of involvement in a lot of the personnel decision making within his first 6 months on the job. So, and maybe they're just saying, hey, we're going to play for a couple of years from now. We just need to weather this out until we're outside of the window for Patrick Mahomes or something like that. Maybe it is, but it doesn't feel like it screams of a long-term vision by hiring Pete Carroll. Love Pete Carroll, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
I
not
know.
a long-term hire. No one's immune to wanting to make money. I don't give a shit if it's Tom Brady or the owner of the Bears. Like, you make money moves sometimes. The Pete Carroll hire is not a 10-year move.
all right.
It's because it's
Agreed.
Pete Carroll. People are going to want to see what happens.
Yeah,
People are
like-
going to want to see if he can fucking have a winning season.
Yeah, if they can get 2-3 good years out of Pete, they're going to be happy.
How much have you guys been tracking this Liam Coen thing?
Who is that?
He is the offensive coordinator for the Bucs, who attempted to leverage him getting interviews for a head coaching position to see if he could come back and commit to the Baker Mayfield-led offense of the Buccaneers. Ends up being hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then proceeds to make himself into this immediate, like, cringe-worthy soundbite.
No.
None of that.
This.
Okay. Let me go ahead and...
Technically, I mean, people are pissed at him because he said that he is committed to coming back to Tampa Bay.
Right.
But, again, money talks no matter what. You're being offered a head coaching position with Jacksonville.
So it's like a college coach saying he's never going to leave, and then he leaves.
And then he leaves.
Yeah.
It's like, what's surprising about this? Who's not going to take more money?
Yeah.
With a better position?
I'm so disconnected.
But yeah, and then he talks about like, oh, this is going to be about like brutal honesty and hard truth and loyalty and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, you just like committed to these guys again and then abandoned them. There's no like honesty and loyalty here. Well, he goes into his press conference, and you know, obviously like the Duval thing in Jacksonville.
You also can't trust anyone named Liam.
That's true.
100%.
This was how he decided to call out the Duval fan base.
Duval.
Really awkward.
One more time.
Duval.
Peter, is that just a recording of you?
I mean, it's as awkward as me. What's also really funny is like a guy who wasn't ready for the moment. There was another video where he was walking up, and it almost felt like he was like not expecting to get an office as a head coach. He was like, I really appreciate this guy. This is so cool. Like, you're the
Like
head
in a
coach.
window?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was like a great window of the practice field. It was like, guys, this is great. Like, I really appreciate it. It's like, you're like, being fucking entitled. Like, this is one of 32 jobs. Like, act like you've been here before. And he's just like this guy who has like fucking shoulder pads going, Duval. Right? Look how good I did that.
You did.
Because that is...
You do.
Right? That's how you know you're not ready for it, because I can do it like that.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No one shits on people just like them. The mirror image. Like, no one shits on awkward people more than the most awkward person. I know.
Oh.
Yeah, because he hates when he does that.
Well, anyways, let's see. Anything else in my notes here before we get into a couple of NBA news and notes? We'll talk again. I've got some Super Bowl stuff. We'll save it for next week, including jersey colors and all the stats behind jersey colors.
The Gatorade.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Gatorade. It's Pepsi.
Mm.
Can you imagine getting Pepsi dumped on you?
Couple of things for the NBA. Jimmy Butler. It's funny because I had some notes in the NBA from a few weeks ago that said Jimmy Butler suspended, and then I went to go and write Jimmy Butler suspended, and here he is suspended again.
Who would have thought?
Now indefinitely, costing himself probably about $3 million.
He's become annoying, man.
And so that's the thing. It's like, do you really want to trade for that? Like, we all see how this goes. Maybe this is a conversation that we've had time and time again. It's happened with Chicago. It's happened with Minneapolis. It's happened in Philly. It's happened in Miami. It's just kind of like, do you really want that? And then do you want to then recommit to a guy at 50, 60, whatever $million if you know that's just what's going to end up happening? I don't think
there's
so.
some antics that people pull where, like, you do that once or twice to make a point. Like when he did the whole practice against the Timberwolves.
Right,
And he's
yeah.
like, let me play with the C squad and beat the starters.
Yeah.
You know, you do shit like that to make a point. But with him, it is a string. It's a consistent thing where he's a cancer in the locker room. And then he's also proven that he's not the guy that's going to help you win the whole thing. Like, there's very little reward and a lot of risk taking on a guy like him.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it's like, again, it's not as if you can say that Jimmy Butler's going to come in and be a great locker room guy, right? So, more power to whoever ends up with them. It'll probably be like the Suns, and then they'll probably be dysfunctional, and then they'll probably lose, and it'll probably...
No, the Suns definitely have it all together.
Yeah, exactly. So I would stay away from Jimmy Butler with a 10-foot pole. It sounds like both the Lakers and Warriors are a bit at a crossroads with their rosters.
When is the Lakers not ever in the conversation about taking on anybody free?
Right.
It's like,
Especially a guy like Jimmy Butler.
there's 8 free agents. The Lakers are in the running for every single one
I
of
mean,
them,
yeah,
and will not get any of them.
That's how you get the clicks there. I think that the the Rising Stars roster came out today. That wasn't super crazy, but the dunk competition is set there. You've got Mac McClung, who's going to be coming out back for a potential three-peat.
This is his one job throughout the year.
Yeah,
is to participate in the
still
dunk
in the
contest.
NBA?
But
He's not even in the NBA, dude.
WNBA?
right.
I think he's in the G League or something.
So the Spurs rookie Stephon Castle, Bulls rookie. This is a big guy, Matas Buzelis. I'm a big guy doing a bit dunk competition. I'm very
Mbu,
excited.
ever heard of him?
And then a second-year player for the Bucks.
Are they going to do the Steph
Andre
Curry,
Jackson?
Sabrina Ionescu thing?
I
Probably
can't
Caitlin
remember.
Clark now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Either way,
what's gonna
that's
happen.
what
I
I'd
don't
like to
know.
see.
But McClung going for his third. I'm going to go for my big boy Buzelis, big man certified podcast. So,
Love that.
yeah.
Buy the sticker.
Buy the sticker. We'll
Buy the sticker we're not selling. We'll sell it if you want.
If you want.
And then what's the last thing that I have in the NBA? Oh yeah, Andre Iguodala's jersey's going to be retired next
Well,
month.
there's a pretty big announcement by who's the new guy, Shams.
Mm-hmm.
That the King. This is very surprising because you're talking about a team that is definitely going to be in the playoffs, that has a really good chance of making it far, and they are looking to deal their best player,
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. And they are keeping it a mystery that he has a very specific destination that he's going to, but it'll be announced in a couple days. So people are speculating what team that is. They're saying, is he playing with Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana? Is he going to go and team up with Wemby? Like, who is this fucking destination? What is this team?
What's wild about the Kings this year is that, so Mike Brown comes from the Warriors, goes to the Kings, turns them into one of the best offensive teams over the course of the couple years that he's there. Earlier this year, gets fired randomly. Doug Christie comes in, is now your head coach. And then, they go on this, 7-2 start since Doug Christie gets instilled as the head coach. By all accounts, it's okay, things have never been, fundamentally bad for this team. It's just they kind of, keep wanting more for a team who hasn't deserved more. And then all of a sudden, you go, wait, De'Aaron Fox is going to get traded. It's what are you guys doing? What's happening here? So, very confusing. Maybe it will pan out for them. But it's just kind of we've always talked on this podcast about grass being greener and everything. And I just, kind of don't get it from an outsider who doesn't, exhaustively, read about the Sacramento Kings. But it's kind of perplexing moves when it doesn't really seem like anything's fundamentally wrong. But I'm
You're
not on the
making waves
inside.
when you don't need to.
Yeah.
But I also, I wouldn't be surprised if you're talking about the experts or people that know the organization. The only way this wouldn't be surprising if you look at somebody like De'Aaron Fox and say, this isn't a Steph Curry. This is not a Jason Tatum. This is not a guy that's going to lead us to the promised land. So knowing that we still have a really good team around us, is this the time to get the most out of him? Where we can get picks, we can get money. So that's the only time it would make sense, because that part I'm not going to necessarily 100% disagree with. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the main guy.
Yeah, especially for a team like the Kings, they need a lot more than just him.
Yeah, he's just not the game changer one guy.
Yeah.
You have a handful of those in the NBA.
Yeah, get your value.
Yeah. Right now, Sacramento Kings are 24-22 in their last 10 games. They're 7-3, and that here they are trying to get rid of their their point guard. But before we get out of here, I saw a couple of news and notes back to the NFL. For the coaching carousel. Sounds like Cliff Kingsbury not interested in the Saints job. Maybe it's Kellen Moore's job to have at this point. Doesn't seem like anyone wants a Saints job at this point, probably because you'd be in cap hell.
Bill
You got a
Belichick.
bad owner.
Bill Belichick to the Saints.
But then also it looks
He
like
ain't going anywhere.
Mike McCarthy is going to Mike Vrabel himself and be the belle of the ball, the damsel or whatever for next year's coaching cycle. Seems like he is going to
What?
Vrabel himself and be like,
We'll see.
You want this? You want this?
Tits out.
In 2026?
The two mics just fucking.
I hope so.
Go that way.
Well, hey,
So.
Saturday, tune in. Duke, Carolina. First of the year.
Is that right?
Saturday, 3:30,
Where's
baby.
the game at?
In Durham and at Duke.
Okay. Your thoughts on that?
You guys want to meet in Mexico next week?
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I'll bring my
Thursday?
I'll bring my camera to make sure. We should have Mitchell bring his little Polaroid camera.
I wanted to keep it interesting, so I reached out to the host. I'm like, can you find us some sharks to put in the pool?
It's just a couple.
So when we dip, it's a little bit more interesting.
When we dip, they dip, we dip.
We
Yeah.
dip. The sharks eat
Yeah.
you, whatever.
But a couple of sharks. One, the real ones, and then others that we can just pitch business ideas to.
What's the pee in the pool situation?
Dude,
Don't pee in the pool.
I'm a big peer in the pool. I'm not peeing in this pool because there's 13 dudes, 12 dudes going.
We're up
Let's
against, we're on a compound. Go find a corner.
We're
to
also,
pee in.
yeah, we're in a giant villa where there's nobody around. Like,
So we can pee otherwhere.
Yeah,
pee
just
everywhere.
blast your dick out somewhere else, but don't
Yeah.
do it in the pool.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Because I will swallow that water.
Especially if he knows they're pissing.
Trust me, there's nobody that loves peeing in the pool more than this
I
guy.
know. I'm
I fucking
surprised
love
to hear
peeing in
your
the pool.
stance.
I'm not going to pee in that pool just because the outside is a lot bigger with nobody around us, no neighbors. I'd rather pee out there than
All
pee
right.
in the pool.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
All right. Well, boys, it's been great being back here.
I
I'm-
appreciate your presence. I kind of like being in the corner of it.
Well, don't get used to it.
Kept it warm, but just like you peeing in the pool, keep it warm.
Clear eyes?
Full heart.
Can't lose. Woo!